having a wonderful festive season. It's that time of the year again when everything feels exciting and sometimes can be a little chaotic. If you're wondering, this is Lead City 89.1 FM and this is MLS Half Hour Inside the Lab, where we explore the fascinating world of MLS, the work that happens behind the scenes to keep us healthy, to keep us safe, to keep us very busy, to keep us very good in shape in this busy time of the year. I am your host, Moshope, and today we are taking a closer look at a very important topic called stress and its impact on medical laboratory science during the Christmas and the New Year. Now we know that the festive season is a season full of joy, twinkling lights, music filling the air, family gatherings, gifts, parties, and excitement of welcoming the new year. But behind all those glitter, behind the celebrations, there's another story. A story of pressure, a story of deadlines and long hours. And while many of us might be attending parties, while many of us might be enjoying special meals, traveling, or catching up with friends, some people experience this festive season in a different way. Medical laboratory scientists, interns, MLS students are among those whose holiday looks completely opposite from the normal holiday. Theirs look completely different. And while others are resting, traveling, or celebrating, they are in the lab ensuring accurate results, timely diagnosis, and patient safety. Think about it as you're unwrapping your own gift, unwrapping your Christmas gift, taking festive selfies and everywhere. Someone somewhere in the lab in the hospital is carefully running a blood test, analyzing a malaria slide, or even cross-matching blood for an emergency patient. That is the hidden magic behind the healthcare system. We, the medical laboratory scientists, make that happen. Over the next 30 minutes, we'll be exploring why the festive season is particularly stressful for lab professionals, the kind of pressure they face, physical, emotional, and even mental, the real examples of how labs stay busy during this Christmas season, and practical tips for coping with stress for both lab professionals and the public. We'll take a short break now, and when we come back, we'll dive straight into today's conversation. So grab a cup of something warm and settle in. Let's take a peek inside. And welcome back. Now that we're all settled in, let's be honest. This Christmas and New Year brings a unique kind of pressure. Everyone is rushing around, planning events, traveling, shopping, cooking, attending concerts, and even posting holiday selfies up and down. While most people are enjoying this jollof, relaxing, catching cruise, catching up with friends and family, medical laboratory scientists, interns, even medical laboratory science students often experience the opposite of this. The festive season is one of the busiest periods in healthcare, and this stress comes from different directions. One of it is the increased workload. Hospitals see a surge in admissions due to accidents, food poisoning, malaria, and alcohol-related emergencies. And this is one of the things that medical laboratory scientists have to be on ground for. Taking test samples, taking blood samples, and the likes. Lab tests are requested urgently. That's one of the increased workload. Lab tests are requested urgently. Full blood counts, electrolytes, malaria smears. That's when you see people rushing into the hospitals and like, oh, I feel sick, I feel this. Because of the weather, because of the change in weather, people start to test for different kind of things. And you see blood groupings, cross matches. Imagine there's a family drama during the festive period, and then they're like, oh, I want to know if this child is for me and all. Imagine in the festive period, who will be in the lab going through all these test samples? Who will be in the lab to do all this? Is the medical laboratory scientists, because we are the backbone of modern healthcare. And cross matches, toxicology, liver and kidney panels. In December, labs operate like peak season factories. The number of samples can double or triple. For example, if on a routine basis we have like 20 samples, we have like 30 samples in the lab. During these festive periods, we can be having like 80 to 100 or even more than that, because there are so many. There's a rise in all these lab tests and all. For example, okay, let's give an example. Accidents now. God forbid, nobody prays to have accidents during this festive season, but things like this occur, and who will take these samples, who will cross-match to make sure this patient gets the right blood sample, to make sure the person gets the right blood group? Medical laboratory scientists are in charge of it. Another workload is shift pressure. While the city is celebrating, someone is still out there in the lab, in an hospital, running electrolytes at 3 a.m. On the normal days, we do this shifting, we do these calls and all. But even Christmas period, there is no break for any scientist, there's no break for any lab intern, because we are still trying to make sure somebody is in good health, even while they are celebrating. Also, reading a malaria slide under a microscope. Many people think it's very easy. Okay, I think I see malaria and that's all. Many people, do this self-diagnosis. I have fever, I have cough, I have this and that. They buy malaria drug and they use. They feel like it's that simple when you are testing, when you are examining a malaria slide under the microscope. Another is cross-matching for a trauma patient, cross-matching blood for a trauma patient. Imagine, as I said earlier, accidents occur and then you have to quickly cross-match. Imagine every laboratory scientist, nobody's in the lab, and a trauma patient comes in. Please, who will do those cross-matching? Who will do those test samples to make sure this person gets the blood on time and a correct blood sample? Another one is processing stool samples for suspected food poisoning. This is the festive season and it is very, very true. There will be food poisoning everywhere. Imagine cooking like large portions of food and storing it in a place, and then because of it and all, because you don't want to waste it, you dish out that food to your guests and all. That is one of the sorts of food poison, and then they go to the hospital, they go to the lab and then start to test. They complain to the doctor, and you are the ones to test that same stool sample. While some people are eating rice and chicken in their homes, you are testing somebody's stool sample in the lab. Those are one of the workload, the stress that medical laboratory scientists face. Another one is completing full blood counts for emergency patients. The full blood count is a very strenuous and a very lengthy process, and it has to be done with accuracy, with precision. And it is not easy for a medical laboratory scientist to do that too. And this is even a festive period that you should be enjoying yourself. You are in the lab doing things like that. Who does all this? The medical laboratory scientist, that intern, that student on clinical posting. Those are the people doing those things. Emotional stress is also one of the workloads. Many laboratory professionals spend their Christmas Eve in the lab, their New Year's Eve in the lab, even holidays. Those break that we have, normal holidays. Oh, we have this June 12th. Most people would quickly go home or they will take a break from work. Medical laboratory scientists do not have that flexibility to just take breaks whenever they like. Some students even miss church services, family gatherings, or important festive rituals. And this emotional strain affects overall well-being. And sometimes the joy of the season is replaced by exhaustion and frustration. Now, we'll be talking about why the labs are busier during the festive period. So please, let's go with me. Let's go together in this. Let's dig deeper. Why is this December so stressful for MLS professionals? One, road traffic accidents increase. Most people travel home for holidays, and in this traveling, they often increase their speeding or drive long distances at night. Even some people can use up to like 21 hours or more than that on the road, driving to their relatives' place just because they want to celebrate. They want to celebrate with them, and because it's a festive period. And these things can lead to accidents. Tiredness and exhaustion, driving for long hours. Someone can fall asleep during driving and then it can cause accidents. These same people would need blood. These same people would need the attention of healthcare. They would need attention of healthcare providers. They would need the attention of the medical laboratory scientists to examine the blood, to get them the right blood samples. Increased accidents require urgent lab tests, cross-matching blood grouping, coagulation studies, PCV checks, toxicology tests. All those tests are very important. And these tests are time sensitive. Any delay can affect the patient's outcome. Any delay in these tests can lead to death of the patient. And no lab scientist will want any patient to die. Imagine in a festive period that is not, and the lab scientist is not even enjoying out of. Another reason why the labs are busy during the festive period, as I said earlier, is food poisoning and gastrointestinal issues. Festive foods are like barbecue, fried rice, roadside suya, and party meals are often prepared in bulk. If not properly stored, they cause diarrhea, vomiting, dehydration. I mean, who wants to have all those symptoms during a festive period? And even if you do not want to have that, you can imagine what the medical laboratory scientists will feel. You come into this lab, bring your stool sample to check for stools, to check for this all those things like that, to make sure you are in good health. And the labs are always flooded with requests: stool cultures, overseas, parasite exams, full blood counts, white blood cells count, liver function tests. So these are the tests that a medical laboratory scientist is expected to provide answers to and provide accurate results for them. Another one is the alcohol related emergencies. I mean it's a festive period, and many people would feel there is no restriction, there is nothing stopping them from taking alcohol in excess. December is popularly known as Dirty December, and you know what Dirty December means. They should have fun to the peak. And if overindulgence increases alcohol poisoning cases, accidents due to drunk driving, and liver function abnormalities. As I said earlier, to malaria and infection disease spike, there is, because of the change in weather, there is increase in malaria, there's increase in infectious disease. Harmattan and wet seasonal changes create perfect mosquito breeding conditions, and which makes the increase in malaria. And malaria cases rise sharply. And the lab must process blood films, rapid diagnostic tests, and monitor hemoglobin levels. Another is the chronic patients care. There are so many patients that, okay, even though they are not celebrating with their family, they still need care. Those people that are in the hospital, that they are unable to move, that are immobile, those ones that have chronic illness, like hypertensive patients, diabetic patients, renal patients, they require routine monitoring. And the tests that they do: full blood count, electrolytes, lipid profiles. So these tests continue alongside all festive emergencies. It's not like there's a pause to all these tests. It's not like there's a pause to health issues. And those people that keep these results accurate and on time is the lab. It is always the lab. Now I'll be going to our next segment, and I'll be talking about the emotional and physical toll that this takes on a medical laboratory scientist. The festive season is supposed to be joyful, but for MLS professionals, it is physically and emotionally demanding. We have fatigue from long hours, headaches, and blurred vision from microscope works. Imagine having test samples double the amount or triple the amount you normally have on a regular basis, and you are there, you are standing, you are tired, and those things can affect the emotional well-being of a medical laboratory scientist, a professional, intern, or even a student. Headaches and blood vision, and you cannot give an excuse that you are not fine, that is why your patient is not fine, that is why you cannot run test samples. Sleep deprivation, so as I said earlier, imagine you're running electrolyte samples by 3 a.m. Of course you will not be sleeping, you would be awake running those samples. So those things cause emotional distress in a medical laboratory scientist. Another is stress from missing family and social events. I mean, it is not normal, you've not seen your family for a very long time. And even the festive period, that should be a time where you can connect, you can gather, see family members, see people that you've not seen in a long time. You are still in the lab, running test samples and trying to make sure somebody else is in good health, somebody else is able to see their family. And let's not forget the mental strain. Errors in lab work can have serious consequences. Imagine you mislabeling a patient sample, and then you've run the test sample and all, and you just saw that, oh, this is not the right name for this right sample. Then you have to start over again and start the sample. Imagine a sample or a test takes probably 6 hours, and you've made the mistake from the beginning, and then at the end of the 6 hours you saw that you mislabeled the sample. You have to start all over again. Imagine another 6 hours. That's 12 hours in a day without rest. So these things take a very big toll on the mental well-being of a medical laboratory scientist. Stress management is therefore crucial in this environment. I'll be taking a short break now, and when we come back, we'll be talking about student and intern experiences in this festive period. Break. If you're just tuning in, this is Lead City 89.1 FM, and this is MLS Half Hour Inside the Lab. So, if you're just tuning into, we've been talking about the festive season and how it affects a medical laboratory scientist. And now we're in the segment of the student and intern experience. Now, MLS students and interns, they often feel this stress even more acutely because these people, they are still learning the ropes, and they were standing for hours trying to figure out why this test sample is not like this, why this bacteria is not growing, and things like that. They are trying not to make mistakes even under supervision. They often miss meals and family time. So imagine people that are not even professionals yet, and they're already, missing gatherings like these festive periods, and they're not able to enjoy, celebrate with their families and all. This, it can actually, give them a really bad experience and all. So the festive period is challenging, but it's also a time where they're able to learn resilience and teamwork and time management. That is why medical laboratory scientists are not just, they're not just the side people to the other healthcare providers. Those people, we are the backbone of modern medicine, and we are there. We are supporting. We are also providing samples. We are also giving accurate results, because so that people can have a good health. People can live in good health, even in this festive period. And it is very formative. It is very tough, but still. And welcome back from that music break. If you're just tuning in, this is Lead City 89.1 FM, and this is MLS Half Hour Inside the Lab. So we've been talking about the experience of a medical laboratory scientist in this festive period, preparing for Christmas and New Year. And we're on the segment of the student and intern experiences. Now, MLS students and interns often feel this stress even more acutely than the medical laboratory professionals, because they've been into the business. They understand what it is like already. So they already have an experience of what festive periods looks like. They already know what it is like. They already know the sacrifice that they are paying. But these people who are just coming into the field, who do not have that experience, it might actually have a huge toll on their mental health, their emotional well-being, and all. Med lab scientists and interns, they often feel the stress more accurately, and they are still learning the ropes. So it is very hard to balance their life, balance their emotions, balance the fact that they can't spend this time with their families and loved ones. They are still standing for hours, and it can be frustrating, it can be exhausting, trying to get why this sample is not correct, why this bacteria is not growing, why is this person having these symptoms, and I can't see what is wrong with the person. They're still trying not to make mistakes even under supervision. As I said earlier, imagine having run a sample for like 6 hours, and then at the end of the 6 hours where you're meant to get your results, you found out that you made a mistake in the samples. Having to start that sample over again can be emotionally draining. And they're still trying to not to make mistakes under supervision. They often miss meals and family times, and it's a common, we know it's a norm for us. And to show that we are not just side people in the healthcare sector. We are the backbone of modern medicine. We are also there to make sure people are also in good health. Now we're going on to another segment, which is coping and stress management tips. For medical laboratory professionals, some realistic stress management strategies can include taking micro breaks. Now, this is for our medical laboratory professionals out there, our medical laboratory students and interns who feel pressurized, who feel like this Christmas break is not going to be the same as as previous times, and who feel like they will not be able to enjoy their time with their families. In this period, in this time of your working and making sure people are in good health, these are some of the tips that you can take. One is taking micro breaks. There are some times where you have like a short break to take, where you can you see that you have a little break to take, and to relax yourself. Just take a micro break. You can just walk around, take a stroll, or just take a 1 cup of coffee and then relax. Another is staying hydrated. Now, dehydration can lead you to can lead you to emotional exhaustion. It can lead you to mental drain out if you are not hydrated enough. So taking water regularly can help you, cope with this stress. Eating nutritious meals. Now, one thing that is so common with healthcare professionals worldwide and everywhere is that they give this advice to take nutritious meals. They tell you, oh, take nutritious meals, always eat like 3 times in a day and all. And they themselves, because of their busy schedules, they do not take time to take those meals. They do not take time to eat. So one of the tips is taking nutritious meals, because even not taking enough meals and not taking meals regularly can actually give you things like headache, and then you are stressed out and you don't know, you are not able to focus well. Another is sharing duties with colleagues. Don't take everything like don't and carry the burden alone. Don't carry all the burden alone. Try to share the duties with colleagues. And another is resting after shifts. Now, I know that because of the situation of the country and all, many people want to get side hustles and join with their normal day-to-day work, but taking rest after shift is very essential. Even if you are going to do something later, always make sure you take rest after shifts. And then celebrating the season in small ways. You don't need to have an elaborate gathering. You don't need to have elaborate celebrations and parties. You can just celebrate with your colleague who is also stuck at work with you too. Another is talking about stress openly with peers. Now, one thing about problems is that when you share it, it is half solved. So talking about problems with peers and all can help reduce stress. Now, this is to our public this is to the public. This is a public advice now to everyone out there who is not a medical laboratory scientist, who is not a medical laboratory student or an intern. Eat safely during this period. Please don't give our medical laboratory scientists too much work in the lab. Eat safely. Avoid poorly stored festive meals, and so that you would also be in good health. Stay hydrated. Now, water is essential during Harmattan, and drink responsibly, please. Now, too much water can cause you problem. Little water can also cause you problem. Now, travel safely. Rest before long trips. Now, if you say that you are so tired and you are driving and you see that you cannot take it again, just get an hotel, stay in an hotel till the next day, and then you can continue your trip. Don't self-medicate. You're having symptoms of fever, you're having symptoms of malaria. Do not go to a nearby pharmacy and just get any drugs you see. Go to an hospital. They are there because of you. They are not going for their Christmas break because of you. Don't self-medicate. Now, listen to your body. When you see that you are feeling somehow, you're not feeling well, listen to your body and then go to a nearby health center and then have your test done. And that wraps up today's edition of MLS Half Hour Inside the Lab on LTT 89.1 FM. To all medical laboratory scientists, interns, and students on posting, your work is behind the scenes, but its impact is in every patient's outcome. And while others rest, you ensure accuracy. While others celebrate, you save lives. We see you, we appreciate you, and we honor your dedication. I'm your host, Moshope Omotosho, and stay safe. Enjoy the season responsibly. And remember, the lab never sleeps, but the scientists must still rest. Have a wonderful night. Merry Christmas.